simply committed the actus reus, the act, you can be held liable. Now, there is another form of liability called vicarious liability. Now, vicarious liability is a form of strict secondary liability, where the wrong act has been committed by person X, but if he is caught and found guilty, then along with person X, his superior Y will also be held liable. This is under a principle called respondeat superior, which means let the superior be responsible and respond to the actions of his inferior, the person over whom he has control. It is understood that it is the responsibility of the superior or for the acts of their subordinates. So the responsibility of the superior person, the third party, is presumed, where it is understood that he has the right, the ability or the duty to control the activities of the person who is his inferior, his subordinate. So, for an act to be considered within the course of employment, and understand it is extremely essential that the act must be within course of employment. So for the act to be considered within the course of employment, it must either be A, authorized, or be so connected with the authorized act that it is considered a mode, although an improper mode of performing it. So what do I mean by it is an authorized act? Let us say I have a servant who is employed by me to do my household work. Now supposing I have enmity with my neighbor and I instruct my servant to go and hit my neighbor on the head, then because the act of violence was authorized by me, if the servant goes and hits my neighbor, not only my servant but also me, under the principle of vicarious liability, will be held liable for this act. On the other hand, supposing I have just instructed my servant to cut a tree which is within the compounds of my house. Now he cuts the tree, but when the tree falls, it happens to fall in the garden of my neighbor and it damages certain items kept on his lawn. Now, although I had not instructed my servant to damage my neighbor's property, the cutting of the tree was instructed by me, and because of the improper way in which my servant carried out this act, my neighbor had to face a loss. So even in that case, it is an improper mode of performing an act authorized by me, and hence vicarious liability will apply. Now, there are certain interests which are protected by torts, tort laws rather. So, when we talk about personal security, we are talking about things like assault, battery, trespass, negligence and so on. To explain what exactly I mean by assault, assault is putting the fear of hurt in a person coupled with the intention and ability to do so. Which means, if you put me under a fear of danger, I fear I am about to be attacked now, and I think you are capable of attacking me, then you are said to have committed assault. It need not result in actual violence. Understand this. Assault is merely putting me in fear that you are about to hurt me. Now, if you are a friend of mine, and some people have this habit of grasping and handshaking with a firm hand, the moment they grasp your palm, they squeeze and you feel as if your bones are to be broken. Now, supposing I know you are such a person, you come and grasp my hand firmly and I am hurt. Can I say I have committed assault? No. Because although I don't like that pain, I am not threatened by any sort of violence. On the other hand, if you take out a stick and are about to hit me on the head with it, then even before the stick hits me, you have already put me in fear of violence. And the stick in your hand ensures that I think you are capable of hurting me. So I can sue you for assault. Now, I am about 6 feet tall, right? Supposing a 4 feet, 30 kilos girl comes up to me and says, "Sir, I will hit you." Do you think in my mind I will be threatened by a person who is half my size and probably less than half my weight? If she has no weapons in her hand and she's a small petite girl, then it does not matter whether she's actually capable of hurting me or not. What matters is, do I think she's capable of hurting me? So in case I think she's not capable of hurting me, there is no assault. So assault is the fear. And after assault, or if any violence takes place, any physical contact takes place and I'm actually touched in an unwanted manner, then the crime of assault has also been upgraded to the crime of battery. Trespass, as we have already seen, could be trespass to person, where you are touched in an unseemly or unwanted manner, or it could be a trespass to your property, where without your permission, somebody enters or uses your property. Negligence is where I do not intend to do any harm, but because of my carelessness, somebody else got hurt. We eat bananas, and many of us, instead of properly disposing of the peel, carelessly throw it on the street. Now suppose one such banana peel is on the road and somebody walking on the street steps on it, slips, falls, suffers an injury. Who is responsible? Well, nobody intended to commit such a hurt, but the negligence of the banana eater led to somebody else getting hurt, and hence it does fall under the category of liability. Reputation is another right, another interest of a person which requires protection. I have a reputation. In fact, my business runs on my reputation. So without proper cause, without proper justification, if somebody does something to damage or harm my reputation, I have the legal right to take action. For my property, things like trespass or conversion of my property without my permission to some form which is somebody else's benefit and my loss are things which can fall under this category. We can also have economic and financial interests which are to be protected.